Good morning, everybody, and a happy Thursday morning. This card is the gift that just keeps on giving. All right, you guys have been writing to me repeatedly about what happened to Catherine and why this is different and what's going on. So I decided to address what happened to Catherine. So I did a little bit of background stuff for you here, and then we're going to go into the card, and I've got some more information for you, including proof of where this picture was actually taken, because it was not taken at their house. No, it wasn't. So as usual, this video is so long that I've had to split it into two. So there's a part one and a part two without any royal family news today, okay? So when you're done with this, make sure you go down and follow me on to part two. You don't want to miss it. Let's jump in and cover all this. There's a lot. Let's go. So what happened was on March 10th, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, put out a picture to thank everybody for their support on Mother's Day in the UK. Well, I bet she wishes she didn't. Initially, everybody was like, wow, she looks fabulous. Remember, she's in the middle of chemo, and it was William who took this picture. But not long after the picture was out, a kill notice was put out saying that the picture had been altered, retracted. Well, I mean, come on, guys. You can't retract it once it's out. It's the first look anybody had had of Catherine in a while. Well, let me tell you, Catherine's supporters came out very quickly, pointing out the fact that Harry has his pictures constantly photoshopped. He has hair put on the top of his head because he's going bald. He has the hair color corrected, and nobody ever, blinks at these photoshopped pictures. They make Harry's eyes so blue so they pop out, and then ones like this come on. This is unphotoshopped and then photoshopped. So obviously, this is something that's done on a regular basis by Harry and Meghan. We remember that Mason Harriman apparently photoshopped that tree into the picture, it was alleged. And I did a whole video on that. You guys can go back and, look at that yourselves on your own time. But that was something else that was brought up. Now, of course, it was in all the newspapers. Photos from the palace was doctored, says, the AP agency. Well, Catherine came right out and said, like most amateur photographers, I experimented with editing and I want to apologize for confusion. We were trying to celebrate Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. The newspaper then went over the 9 problems that they found in the pictures. I got to tell you, most of these are not things I would have noticed, like the sleeve or a finger. She didn't alter their faces. She's just, cleaning up the picture to make it look a little nicer, like other people have done. You guys know exactly what I'm saying. But I mean, people were all over this like nobody's business. It didn't take long for Omid Scobie to immediately launch another attack on Catherine. He attacked the palace. He attacked the fact that the picture had been altered. He said that trust was lost with the palace. Blah, blah, blah. The palace has a history of lying and covering up and issuing statements on behalf of family members, i.e. Harry, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing was just unbelievable. Now, when AP was asked why they pulled the photo, they said they pulled it because the image appeared to have been manipulated. So they have editorial standards that state that images must be accurate and they don't use altered or digitally manipulated images. Really? Well, this Twitter user at the time pointed out that here's a photoshopped image of Catherine that was made to look much older. It was put in print. It was passed around the world. We didn't see AP putting a kill on that picture, did we? FYI, this is not the first time that they've done a kill picture, that the AP has killed a picture. I mean, here, at least you can see people's faces. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who may not know, this picture that was released back in 2019, just before Harry and Meghan left, also had a kill on it for being manipulated, but nobody made such a big fuss over it as they're doing Catherine. So remember, the kill notice was put because AP and Getty Images don't like photoshopped photos of any kind. They don't like pictures that have been manipulated in any way. So apparently some of these pictures were run through some sort of program that shows if they've been manipulated or not. And guess what? They've all been manipulated, but AP didn't kill them. They didn't say, no, this is no good. I have no doubt that AP put this picture out. You guys remember this Christmas card from Harry and Meghan? I did a whole video on this one too. Look at Meghan's thumb where she's holding under the baby's arm. That was obviously manipulated. Look at the baby's right hand. She's missing fingers. It looks like she just has a claw. Obviously manipulated. Look at this picture of Archie that Meghan took and put out. I guarantee you AP helped put this picture out. Do you see the problem? His right hand is backwards. That was obviously a Photoshop fail. How about this picture, again, put out by Harry and Meghan? Very sweet picture. Meghan's reading Archie a book, but look how long her forearm is. Nobody's arm is that long. Obviously manipulated. What about this one from Variety? Meghan's head, maybe it really is that big and fat on top of a little neck, but I doubt it. So back when I did this video, I pointed out that they're attacking Catherine for stuff that Meghan and Harry do all the time. Well, of course, it was inevitable that they were going to wade into it. So not long after that, I did another video where Harry and Meghan, and you can go back and watch the whole thing if you want, but basically Harry and Meghan came out and said, you know, if that had been us, we would have been crucified. They threw themselves into the mix and acted like victims. And then Harry and Meghan got dragged into the fake photo saga. They should have kept their mouths shut. People were talking about the pregnancy photos that Mason took of Meghan and Harry. So Mason Harriman was accused of adding the willow tree because in an interview, he basically admitted that he added it. But then he came out and said, I didn't change anything in that picture, nothing. The only thing that I did is change it from color to black and white. I did nothing else. Really? Let me just tell you that was absolutely the wrong thing to say because people pulled up those pregnancy photos again. And once again, the first thing that was noted was that Meghan had 6 toes on her right foot. How could she have 6 toes on her foot if the image wasn't digitally manipulated? There it is, zoomed in a little closer. Oh, and in case you think it's like that because it's black and white, there it is in color. So don't tell me that he didn't manipulate their photos because he absolutely did, and it was proven. And of course, somebody ran his picture through and found out that the image had been digitally altered. Wow, wouldn't you know it? So yeah, he got caught, altering the photos. This whole thing just got worse and worse. And then finally, it just, it blew up even bigger. Because when you get down to it, as I told you before in my previous video, when Harry and Meghan put out pictures of their own, they are guilty of photoshopping the pictures. They photoshop their own photos. They photoshop the pictures of the kids. All right, you guys, that is the end of part 1. Go down into the description box where you'll find the link to part 2. Leave your comments here, though. Then follow me over to part 2. Let's go.